Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Operation Freedom Briefings. The goal of these briefings and my weekly radio show, Operation Freedom, which airs out of the People's Republic of Ann Arbor every Sunday from 2 to 5 Eastern. You can stream it live, free. Just go to davejanda.com every Sunday, hit that Listen Live button, and you have complete access to our analysis and our great guests. Today's Operation Freedom Briefing is going to take on a little bit of a different format. I recently had the opportunity to interview, an honor to interview, Charles Woods, who's the father of Ty Woods, one of the 4 victims of Benghazi. Victims that were essentially mercilessly left to die by Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Leon Panetta, just to name a few. This interview airs in its entirety at davejanda.com in our Insider Insight show, but is of significant importance that I wanted to take a clip out of the interview and provide it to you, our YouTube audience. It has significant ramifications. The information we discuss is about how a president, a secretary of state, and a secretary of defense were aware of a terrorist attack, allowed it to continue without sending military support, with the end result being the death, the preventable death, of 4 American citizens. Ty Woods and Glenn Doherty, who were CIA contractors, Ty being a former Navy SEAL himself, Sean Smith, and Ambassador Chris Stevens. I suggest and hope that you'll take this clip and you'll network this information to anyone and everyone you know. The bought-off lamestream fake media refuses to point to the details that occurred on September 11th and September 12th, 2012 in Benghazi. Every American, every person of the world needs to become knowledgeable of the facts. That this was not due to a YouTube gone bad event. That this, in fact, was a planned terrorist attack. That the powers that be, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Leon Panetta, not only allowed to occur, but allowed to continue until 4 Americans were dead. We get into that in the interview. Why the military was not allowed to respond, and who ultimately benefited from the end result. This is information you'll never get from the bought-off lamestream fake media, but it is available as through our free site as well as our subscription site, this particular show being part of the subscription platform. I hope you'll join us on the free side at davejanda.com or the subscription side, 30 cents a day, $9 a month. If you don't like it, sign up for a month, get rid of it. Not sure why you would. Because this is the type of work we do on the platform that you're not ever going to get from the fake media. Thank you for your time, and as we close every segment, dream big and dare to fail. Now on to Charles Woods and a portion of our interview. Thanks for joining me today.
Now, we've forgiven everyone that's involved with the death of my son, but justice and integrity requires that we find out who it was that gave this order not to rescue. And so far, that has not happened. We need to have that. Think of the morale of the troops. Always been a guarantee that no one's going to be left behind. That rice paddy that has a fallen soldier in it, he knows that they're going to come and rescue him. This case, assets immediately available in the area, no rescue. And how do we know that this was not a spontaneous attack? Immediately, because Ty was killed by a mortar. A mortar is not spontaneous. It has to be chalked in, it has to be set up ahead of time, and ahead of time, there have to be the coordinates for the exact location of the target. That's not spontaneous. We had General Petraeus, head of the CIA at one time. Immediately he would have known, not spontaneous, it was a mortar, had to be planned in advance. There were military people in the Situation Room. Immediately they would know, mortar attack, not spontaneous.
Charles, when was the last time you spoke to Ty before he died?
Okay, right before he left, we talked, and the conversation was this: was Ty, for the 20 years before you retired, I prayed for your safety, but I never felt that anything major was going to happen, that you were really going to be injured. But I said, this time it's completely different.
Wow.
If there's any way that you can get out of this, do. And he said, Dad, I can't tell you who I'm working for. Ended up being the CIA and Hillary. And he said, but they never like to lose anyone, so don't worry about me. And I says, cover your back and get return as soon as you can. Now, I don't know why, but that was just my premonition. And what had happened, he was actually supposed to have come home in August, but one of the people he worked with, his dad from the state of Washington, contacted him. There's archery season for elk, and wanted his son to come back and go archery hunting. Okay, Ty, when he was like 5 years old, we moved to a 9,000-acre cattle ranch in eastern Oregon. I've taken Ty hunting so many times, and Ty knew the importance of hunting with your dad. So, being the person that he was, he says, I'll take your place. You go hunt with your dad. And he was supposed to come back 6 days later because he had a brand new baby at home. He had told them, this is the last time I'm going to take an assignment, and don't bother to call me again. And 6 more days, he would have been home. That never happened because an authority that were in the White House that night gave the command, do not rescue.
I mentioned in my introduction about Ty that he was a nurse and a paramedic.
Yes.
Charles, I had heard that some reports that before this attack occurred, like a day or two before, right, Ty was concerned about what he was seeing in the environment around him.
Exactly. The people there knew that if they were attacked, they would not survive that attack. And some of them had even said, we don't even know if we're going to make it through the night. Okay. And so what he did immediately before this was he called everyone together and says, an attack is imminent. I need to train every one of you how to treat open wounds in case someone showed them how to do tourniquets, showed them how to pack wounds to prevent the bleeding. He even took out ketchup, squirted it on different people. Okay, now go to work, do the tourniquet, do the packing of the wounds. That was immediately before the attack. They knew it was going to happen. If they knew it in Benghazi, they sure knew it in Washington, D.C. And Washington, D.C. did nothing except say, we're not going to rescue.
And there are reports that he just didn't keep his feelings and other people didn't keep their feelings to themselves in Benghazi. They, in fact, did let Washington know that there were problems. And in fact, it's my understanding that for several weeks prior to the attack, the State Department, led by Hillary Clinton, was actually removing protection.
Exactly. Every time that they made requests for more protection, there actually were Marines there at one time. More people were withdrawn. Every time another government said, this is too dangerous, we're getting all of our people out of Benghazi, we stayed. They knew exactly what was going to happen. They kept withdrawing. And what it was like holding out a red piece of meat in front of a predator.
Now, Charles, it's my understanding there was the mission facility where the ambassador was, and then Ty was at a separate location at the annex.
Yes.
And the attacks on September 11th happened at the mission facility where the ambassador was. Ty and I believe Glenn Doherty had realized this attack was occurring. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. Fought their way over to the mission facility to try to help the ambassador and those that were there. Could not find the ambassador, but actually got 35 people, it's my understanding, out of harm's way from the mission facility, got them back to the annex. Ty and Glenn Doherty were defending the annex from the rooftop, and that's when the mortar hit.
Yeah, exactly.
And the time and how and Charles, how long did this go on? This firefight?
Well, the movie is 13 hours
Right.
altogether, so that's a good approximation. And I recommend that anyone see that movie because that movie is the truth about what happened. That movie is based upon the contractors, who are honorable people, what they said. And I've met them. I went, to the premiere, got a chance to visit with the people that were with Ty when he passed. And that's the truth about what happened.
Now,
and the thing is, what's crazy is if Hillary and the president and all that sort of stuff had just come out with the truth, they would have been heroes. They would have been heroes in the White House. Look, this is the people that we hire. This is the type of people that we are, and that's why we have these people working for us. They could have been heroes. Instead, they're goats. And those people will go down in infamy because they lied to the American people. And everyone in the United States knows that the excuses they gave are just a joke.